Hassan is at the top 100 creators in the New York Times.
I got some crazy stuff going on. We have merch day today. I did times 100 last night, which I like to call terrorism insurance, because these kinds of, like, when reporters want to, like, write positive stories about me or put me in, like, lists like this, I'm like, oh, thank you. This will make the people that constantly cynically claim that I'm a terrorist look even dumber. I got some crazy stuff going on.
The fact that he says that people who claim that he is a supporter of terrorism and we look dumb now, those who say that thing, is beyond my logic. And just to be sure, let's see what he has said over time about Hamas, Houthis, and those groups.
If Hezbollah is a terrorist organization, America is the top terrorist organization, which it is, by the way. America is the top dog in terrorism, and so is Israel. It doesn't even matter. None of this justifies that Palestinians have a right to dignity, a right to emancipation, a right to live free lives, free from this occupation. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if rapes happen on October 7th. Like, that doesn't change the dynamic for me even this much. So that's the other part of this problem that many people that can't contend with. Like, no, Hamas unironically is the lesser evil of the two. If you look at the civilian casualties, if you look at the civilian deaths versus the deaths of soldiers, Hamas's percentages are infinitely better than Israel. That's just facts.
He's the leader of Hezbollah, the general secretary of Hezbollah.
What's Hezbollah?
Hezbollah
is that small guy?
Hezbollah is this is the same name.
Okay.
Hezbollah is a paramilitary organization that is also a part of the Lebanese parliament.
Do we like them or no?
I think as a resistance group, they're pretty successful against Israel. But everybody hates them. Like, everybody in the region, a lot of people don't like them. Like,
I like what you like.
I don't have an issue with them, let's just say. They're Shia.
Does he know what One Piece is?
اول شيء بقول لك انه ممكن هذا السؤال يكون شوي اهبل، بس بسالك تعرف شو هو ون بيس؟ عمرك سمعت بون بيس؟
اكيد يعني منذ الطفوله وانا اشاهد ون بيس. لوفي.
Luffy?
Yeah, he said he's been watching it since he was a kid.
No way!
Yeah.
That's sick. Yes, that's fire. That's so fire. Oh my god. We think the Houthis, Ansar Allah, is doing what Luffy would do. You should tell him that. They do musicals about like their actions all the time. And they love walking over. They love walking over like the American flag and the Israeli flag side by side. They will always like march on it. I'm surprised they haven't done it yet. He's saying they do not care about the heavy missiles. Like, they will literally take the war to them no matter what. It's an act of for them, it's an act of resistance.
They're streaming this?
Yeah, they're flexing.
What? And they're coming in hot with guns.
Yeah, but you have to understand, this is a deterrent, right? So, like, their goal is to film it and show it to the world, so, like, other companies that don't want to risk having this happen to their product, having this happen to their ships, literally are like, okay, we're not going to use the trade route anymore. All of a sudden, if you don't use the trade route, trade gets more expensive for the West. All of a sudden, if you can't use that trade route, the Israeli port is going to get bankrupt. I'm not Palestinian. I don't live in Gaza. I can't speak on, I guess, like, the broader analysis beyond the fact that I don't feel comfortable placing the blame of a violent settler colony that has killed and displaced tens of millions of Palestinians. I don't feel like it's appropriate to lay the blame in the hands of anyone that is resisting against their own brutal occupation.
They didn't deserve it, you idiot. My goal is solutions. Your goal is the continuation of violence. You want way more than 260 people dying. You want every single Palestinian to be executed ruthlessly in the streets so that you can build another theme park in Gaza. You baying pig. You blood.
If you disagree with Hassan, even for a fraction of his ideology, you get attacked immediately. He doesn't even try to make a debate, a dialogue. I don't need to be a supporter of IDF or Hamas to see what he does, to influence the people that are watching him. Because Hamas or Houthis, they are terrorist groups that they are being supported by many countries, and not only that.
His involvement in global affairs, like his moral compass, causes others to also take action, causes others who have power to also take action. He literally makes people, he springs others into action. That's the whole point. That is the I don't know. I just saw like a lot of what I've tried to do with commentary in general, which is like to influence others to also do right and to defend vulnerable people, and to show by not just telling but also doing, no matter what the repercussions are. And I think that was what was great. Like, he is an inspirational figure, not just inspirational towards human beings, but also towards metahumans and people who are powerful themselves.
He thinks that he is Superman. If I could describe Superman to someone that he never seen or watched or read any comics or superhero movies, I will describe Superman as the White Knight of DC. He will put himself in danger just to save innocents from dying. How is it possible that you compare yourself with a fictional character, that you support people that they attack civilians? He was talking about a thumbnail, and that Asmongold always talk about him. Let's start why Asmongold talks about him. Because Hassan says way too many things that they are unhinged. The only way that you can say Hassan and Asmongold in the same sentence is because you basically make the same content. And what is that? Political content. That's the only thing you two have in common. Nothing else.
And
I'm sure it sucks. I mean, can you imagine what it would be like if you just had people on the internet that would just make stuff up about you with no basis and just fucking put it out there and just say random shit with no evidence?
Wait, that's so crazy, because like, I think he literally has been abusing, he's been spamming like AI thumbnails recently too, and like, he makes it, I saw like one thumbnail that popped up on my fucking For You page on my YouTube, and it gave me a jump scare. It was me like holding a gun, and it was like on the other side it was like Ludwig, I think. So I don't know what he was implying. I think he was like implying that I'm like killing Ludwig or something. I don't know what, like at this point like the lore crafting is so is so out of pocket.
It's all like, it's like this weird mirroring thing too, where he's like criticizing you, but like in the process describing himself like perfectly. Yeah, imagine being a guy who doesn't know anything and tells lies on the internet all the time, and whose statements are really scrutinized. Yeah. Couldn't be me.
Like, there's one content creator who's like a lolicon like drawn children enjoyer, and he's like a VTuber. He's like a cartoon character, right? And he's also, I think, like now living in Israel, and
but he wasn't before. He moved to Israel, I think, like after October 7th. Like one of his immediate family members, I think, like might have died. Not on October 7th. Not entirely sure about what happened, but anyway, he went like full fucking crazy mode. Why are you nodding along? You're like, this makes a lot of sense. You're in your mind. You're like, this is. It feels like a setup.
There's just like a lot of different. I mean, there's just a lot of different ways all these things could go.
But yeah, this guy will always fucking post about me and be like, Hassan is. I think it was at first he was like, Hassan is 65% done. Hassan is like 100% done. Now it's like Hassan is 1,000,000% done. And at no point, like, does his audience ever go, dog, you said he was going to go to jail 8 months ago. Why is he not in jail?
So what you're telling me is that there's now a QAnon about you.
Yes!
And that, like, they're being like, the storm's coming. The Patriots are going to come for Hassan any minute now.
Like, that's what I don't understand. Is
all of the crimes that he has committed.
Can you
against
imagine
us?
if I was like, if I was constantly just being like, any moment now Trump is gonna get arrested.
That is actually what would happen though if like you got like, you know, nabbed or whatever in this current environment, is that like 20,000 gang stalking victims of you would be like coming out to testify about all of the ways you've been oppressing them.
Yeah. He's like, dude, did you see? He like flexed one time. That shit was crazy. It was unacceptable. But like, it just doesn't.
And you make a point about the thumbnail, like you don't even know how social media works nowadays. First of all, the video says something totally different, and the thumbnails are used to attract people so they can press the button. That's how it works. It's been like that for years. But you make a point that you decide to make it legit. But you haven't even watched the video. And the last thing about this video, who is this guy on the left? I don't know him. Who is it? If you know him, please share it with me. It's crazy to think that Ice Poseidon has an opinion on you, and it's a bad opinion on you. Ice Poseidon, the dude 3 years ago made a meme coin. He made a meme coin and he took $500,000 from his audience.
I hate him. I hate Hassan. I think he's the fakest dude I've ever seen. He's the fakest content creator. I just, it's disgusting. Like, he is so, like, he pretends to be a socialist, but he's so far capitalist, it's crazy. He is just profiting off the back ends of his manipulated audience who are in desperate situations in their real life. Obviously his audience must be like super poor and desperate or something, because they want socialism.
Socialism doesn't mean you die when you are no longer a productive worker, okay? Every single one of these companies have blood on their hands. Kick is a little bit more direct. No, there is no amount of money that would make me move to Kick. Stop asking me why. I already told you. You don't even care about the actual answer.
I hate him. I hate Hassan. I think he's the fakest dude I've ever seen. He's the fakest content creator. I just, it's disgusting. Like, he is so, like, he pretends to be a socialist.
Now about Tecton and his brother. The fact that we live in a day that we need a streamer to say, you know what, you can't say these things publicly. And I'm not saying it just for the soldiers, but even for whoever is out there.
Obviously, from a military family, I try to respect the people who have sacrificed their comfortability and their safety to make sure the people of this country are safe. So obviously, me and Twitch Chat want to thank you for your service. But it's got to be pretty hard going from a place where you can't feel safe to trying to retransition into just being a civilian. And it's like, okay.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. So this is what this woman had to say about this, and this is why I called her fat.
I have no pity at all for any fucking soldiers. Distress, thank you so much. I will never have any fucking pity for any fucking soldiers. U.S. military? Who fucking who? I hope you get PTSD.
That's when she goes to stuff her.
I noticed she was eating the whole time.
Yeah, she does that a lot.
No, I think that a lot of times most soldiers are really good people.
Yeah.
They're trying to serve their country. I don't see how you can say that they deserve PTSD.
Where do you think she lives?
In the U.S., I'm sure.
Yep. California.
Yeah, there's a lot of bad people out there, John.
Yep. Well, that is essentially, that is my content these days.
Just responding to people like this?
Yeah, just trying to take down the bad people on this platform and highlighting the hypocrisy. And I currently, I can't say publicly, but I have something brewing behind the scenes that I'm going to be releasing to the public. Most likely in 3 months, if everything goes right, because there's a lot of moving parts. I have another thing releasing in probably around 6 months that I think is going to change the streaming landscape forever. Because I'm a man who likes to make things change. There are people who talk about making things happen, and then there are people who actually do the things to make things happen. I don't want to be a bystander. I want to be someone who's trying to make this platform better for everybody else. And I'm excited for you to see that.
So you're doing something about the Twitch hypocrisy.
Yeah,
essentially.
And obviously, without saying anything, you saw that last night. Remember when I got really excited because I told you I just found something crazy that I didn't know existed?
You pulled something up on your phone.
Yeah, without saying anything. That was another big piece of the puzzle that I'm going to be using to absolutely fucking obliterate these people. Like, genuinely fucking obliterate. But yeah, that's pretty much my content. This was cool, by the way.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
The platforms, they don't do anything about those people. They don't do anything. And that's why those people, the names Frogan, Hassan, iDubbbz, created this monster that is called Ethan Klein. He will go after everyone. Ethan Klein exists because those people created him. Right now. That's the point of it. And I want to be certain that we need to understand what terrorism is. And I will make a really good point for any Hassan viewer out there. Terrorism is very, very complex thing to understand and make a definition out of it. And to be true, there is not a pure definition out there. But there are few things that are in common on terrorism and how we can understand this term. The basic things are the use of threat and violence against a group of people. They are doing things for a political, ideological. They don't do violence randomly. They try to achieve certain political, religious, social, ideological objectives. They target civilians. They try to intimidate and create fear to a certain community. With this fear, they try to pressure governments, the population, or organizations to change their policies. The psychological impact. This is something they use for the public confidence about their security and if they feel safe. The clandestine nature. Those terrorist groups often operate in secrecy and plan ahead their attacks. And we have two different sides. We have terrorists like Hamas, Houthis, and freedom fighters. This is a fine line between the two of that. And there are many debates about how different those groups are considered. The majority of academics try to define and focus on the acts those groups are doing, who they target, when they target, and their planning. Legal and academic definition. Those two are totally different. The academics try to understand how sociologically, physiological, and the political acts of terrorism. And the legal aspect of it is about the policy of emphasizing the criminal nature of the acts. And that's why there is a lack of universal legal definition. Despite being an international problem, there is no single thing that they agree upon this definition of terrorism. But there are few acts that they call terrorists. Hijacking, hostage taking, just like Houthis and Hamas. So, Hassan made a response video to Legal Mindset. Legal Mindset is a lawyer based in Asia, and he talks about many creators and things that are happening on YouTube and other social media. And he made many videos about Ethan Klein, Somali, and others. And he made especially a video about how Hassan makes his arguments. And he talked about some of the ways that Hassan uses certain debate skills and tactics. But I wanted to make a little bit of a deeper dive inside of this.
As slander defamation much about me, it seems, other than what the most deranged antis might try to cook up, there is some need to respond to that. And also, there is a need to bring up some very real legal trouble that Mr. Piker may be in regarding California, especially as some individuals look to come against him. So first of all, we're going to start by reviewing the defamation itself, and this does come in the form of a video which I have right here for you guys. And this is Hassan kind of responding to his chat and talking about me and why he's not going to review my videos. And I just want to start out by saying I love the fact that you're going to see immediately how he jumps to ad hominem, because ad hominem or personal attacks, when used as a debate strategy or when used to rebuke someone, actually represent a concession. That actually means you are incapable of making a legal argument or an objective argument or an informed argument or in any sort of educational argument. You're simply trying to discredit someone personally to get around the fact you lack the capacity capacity to actually argue. And so I actually don't take offense to that. I'm very used to it, having been on the internet for years now. So we'll get into this video and the thoughts by Mr. Piker.
Dude, there's something so funny about people being like, dog, have you seen the legal mindset video about you? Dude, if I were to cover every Rumble lawyer, fake lawyer that it actually is.
So let's stop right there. Okay, so Rumble lawyer is very interesting. And I think he may mention Rumble again. While I do have, I guess, still a Rumble account, I haven't uploaded it to years. I don't stream on Rumble. I only stream on YouTube, primarily as a major platform. I've tried the others. I don't like them. Rumble, just as a comment, initially offered a very good package contractually to stream on their platform, good advertising packages. That fell off way back towards the COVID days. So yeah, that's kind of a weird thing. Now, fake lawyer is interesting, and I want to throw out here that that's possibly the most defamatory thing. Now, I want to give Mr. Piker some credit here, because perhaps he knows nothing about me or knows nothing about the law. Well, clearly he knows nothing about the law or what words mean. A lawyer is anybody with a law degree, whether or not they're licensed and practice law. So anybody who's gone to law school is indeed a lawyer. Now, attorney is someone above lawyer. You could say that word is perhaps not.
In that argument, Hassan used the quote thing, and just to be straight, he used that just to be safe.
Interchangeable, but similarly related insofar as they're not only a lawyer, not only do they have a law degree, but an attorney has to be licensed to practice in their state. I'm licensed to practice in the state of Florida. So I am both a lawyer and an attorney above that. So thinking about that logically as a little bit of education, all attorneys are lawyers, but not all lawyers are attorneys. So there you go, Mr. Piker, that's a language. So that statement is indeed false, right? That I am a quote unquote fake lawyer because I indeed possess a law degree from the University of Florida. So that statement in the future would be defamatory. And with Mr. Piker, we do have to remember, and with myself and other figures, is that we are all public figures. So we follow the New York Times versus Sullivan standard. We have a higher standard for defamation than the normal private individual. So now that that's been clarified publicly for Mr. Piker, and that he will well know that information is false and defamatory, to continue to do so would perhaps incur liability on the part of Mr. Piker. But let's continue to.
Maybe this one is one of the best arguments Legal Mindset did on this video. Basically, he informed that to Hassan that if you say that again, someone can use it to sue you. In this situation, we have a true lawyer that he can use and knows the laws in the state of California against another person that stays and lives in California who doesn't know the law, basically. And this is a prime example of how he can safely say, watch out what you're saying, because I can use the law in my benefit here, because I do have the clip. I can sue you for that, but I don't really want to.
See what he has to say about me. This is fun.
Like a fucking right-wing freak that spends most of their time talking about like trans people.
So that's very interesting. So I will say this, most of my time talking about trans people, the issues I have been covering lately have been the Ethan Klein lawsuit, have been Johnny Somali, have been Vitali. Now, unless you are counting something with Somali or Vitali as a trans issue, which I would struggle to understand how that would fit in, then yeah, that's not at all what my content has been about for the past year.
Now, what Hassan said was ad hominem. So, he attacks the personality but not the argument. Basically, he says that the Legal Mindset is a right wing, but this is not the case. We are talking about something totally different.
So very interesting thing. Also, I keep politics out of my streams, and it's particularly over the last year, 6 months, definitely last 6 months and a year, I have endeavored to keep my streams as objective and educational and make it a environment where everybody is welcome. Even people who like Hasan Piker are welcome in my chat, so long as they are civil, so long as they keep the conversation from violating the terms of service of the platform, because I indeed do care about abiding by the terms of service of the platform. That is, you are welcome in my chat, whether you're right, left, center, whether you're apolitical, whether you don't care about politics, it doesn't matter at all to me. I care about the law and educating people on the law. That's the core of my channel. So let's continue.
I would lose my mind. I would have no time to cover anything else. I get it. A lot of you are drama perverts, okay? And you nut when you think about the prospect of drama. But I'm not.
I will say, I actually do not like drama. And in fact, on my channel, I try to avoid drama. In fact, even in carrying out my behaviors, I try to make sure that I am focusing more on the legal aspects of things rather than the dramatic elements, the interpersonal problems, the stuff that people did. I try to focus on the legal elements of a story. Now, sometimes to get to the legal elements, you have to give background, you have to give context, because things don't make sense in context, without context. However, yes, I would agree with Hasan that I don't like drama, but what Hasan tends to define as drama, and what it appears he's defining as drama, is anything that disagrees with the things he's doing. So by somebody saying what you are doing is objectively risking lawsuits, it's objectively wrong, or for example, saying that, hey, your orbiters, Denims and Frogan, they're gonna lose under copyright infringement, here's the explanation of the law. Apparently, that's drama, to objectively educate people on the law. That's a new definition of drama to me. And I don't know what you guys think, Chad.
So in this case, I don't remember the name of this debate tactic that Hasan used, but there is a debate tactic that says that if you don't agree with me, you're against me. I don't know what I can't speak for Legal Mindset, because he says that he only talks about the law. But in this situation, if Legal Mindset said that Frogan and Denism they were right, everything will go fine with the lawsuit, everything is perfect, they did the right thing. If Legal Mindset said something like that in the past, something that he didn't, of course, then Hasan would agree with that. And he will say, oh, Legal Mindset is awesome. So this tactic is something that Hasan has used in the past. It's really useful to him.
Pay any mind or any attention to some fucking psychotic MAGA lawyer, not a real lawyer, but a passport bro.
So, okay, that's really interesting. Once again, he repeats the defamation, saying I'm not a real lawyer, which is indeed wrong. And it's interesting, and MAGA, of course, don't bring up politics. That I've never talked about that at all recently at all. But beyond that, passport bro is interesting because the definition of a passport bro is typically someone that would visit a location for a short period purely for sexual purposes. And for anybody who knows anything about me, I'm a long-term resident of several countries in Asia. I've been a resident of the Republic of South Korea, the Kingdom of Thailand, the Philippines, and Japan. These are all wonderful, amazing countries, and I do help people obtain legal visas and legal residence long-term in these countries because they appreciate the culture, the lifestyle, the quality of life, the peace, the safety, the tranquility. These are amazing things about living in Asia. And another amazing thing is that unlike America, and this may be surprising to Hasan, it is not as easy to get away with being an illegal migrant to these countries. So if you try to illegally migrate to Japan or Korea, very good luck to you, sir, because likely...
Now that I remember, the debate tactic is called false dichotomy. Basically, it's white and black.
You will end up in the cell next to Johnny Somali, aka Ramzi Khalid Ismail, if you try that in Korea. It's not gonna go well for you. So I would insist that perhaps the only person that perhaps between the two of us would be a passport bro is the individual who visited Berlin solely for the purpose of going to a brothel. But that's...
So, why Hassan used the passport bro? Because in the last year, I think, last summer, the passport bro was a huge thing that was happening, especially in Thailand. So basically, people from the US traveled to Thailand to find women and marry them or whatever. This thing escalated because the Thailand government said we don't really want US passport bros because they come over to our country and we have many issues when they stay in Thailand. And it grew very fast, especially last year.
Neither here nor there. Let's continue.
And of course, he uses this tactic to attack the personality, but not the argument.
Who offers fucking courses on becoming a passport bro, who primarily fucking streams on Rumble.
Neither one of those things are true. I do not have a single course on becoming a passport bro, and I do not primarily stream on Rumble. I only stream on YouTube.
And the truth is, I tried to search these things, these accusations of Hassan. I didn't find anything, so...
So, yeah, there we go.
Why do you guys come in here and ask for this stuff? It's never gonna happen.
And that's the great point. I'm going to leave it right there. It's never going to happen because Hassan lacks the capacity to actually address real issues and to actually respond to legal or objective arguments because he's incapable of doing that. Not only because he's not a lawyer, even a non-lawyer can make an argument, can make a policy position, can say this should be...
One of the tactics that Legal Mindset used here was whataboutism. You can do that, but you can do this also. Or you are right about this, what about that? It's a very useful debate skill because, let's be real, I use it way too much.
This way for XYZ, but because he needs to discredit others by ad hominem in order to try to win an intellectual argument. And frankly, that's at the lowest level of argumentation. But one thing he really can't argue with is the law. And in fact, there's a California law, which was pointed out by a California lawyer friend of mine, where that shows that he may have violated this statute, 653.2. involving electronic cyber harassment. So this is the statute which reads every person who with the intent to place another in reasonable fear of his safety. So if you have the intention to scare somebody else, to place them in fear of their safety or the safety of that person's family by means of an electronic communication device, a computer or a cell phone, and without the consent of the other person, and for the purpose of imminently causing that other person unwanted physical contact, injury, or harassment by a third party, electronically distributes, publishes, emails, hyperlinks, or makes available for downloading personal identifying information, including but limited to a digital image of that other person or an electronic message of a harassing nature about that other person, which would be likely to incite or produce that unlawful action. So he put out that photo and he engaged in those actions with the intent to instill fear in that other individual. So that individual could look into contacting California law enforcement, could look into that pertaining to Hassan and take action thereby. Very interesting.
So now he talks about what Hassan did in one of his streams when someone talked to him and Hassan used a metal thing. You know the story.
Interesting and something for him to worry about, but...
And of course Hassan doxed a person that it wasn't the person that sent the messages in his chat.
Of course, only if he addresses the real issues. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and I'll catch you.
So, take a like. The comments were really, really funny. Calling him a pseudo intellectual really pissed him off. Yeah. What the heck would the lawyer know about the law? It's not like it's his job. Please sue him. He's in dire need of consequences for his actions. Imagine calling someone a fake lawyer and suing them only to find out they are not only a lawyer but an attorney. Some of the tactics of Hassan, he uses it mainly every time in every debate he's been in. I've seen him use these things with Ethan Klein, with Destiny, and with other people, not just in YouTube, but in TV also. His basic tactic is the emotional one. It's something that he uses basically in every stream. He doesn't even need a debate about it. But this is Hassan. This is how he reacts and does everything. And after that, we had Hassan using a gun to basically threat someone because he doesn't agree with him. But in the video, there are two things I want to point out. First of all, he lost his clip, or how Most Critical said, magazine. And you need more experience with guns. You need to be very, very cautious of how you use them. And the second one is that even if the handgun is an airsoft gun, it doesn't really matter. What matters is what he said and how he referred to the other person. And we need to stick to that, to the full story.
He is not banned for this. This opens up this behavior for others. When you read the terms of service, nowhere does it say everyone will be punished except for Hassan. Everyone will be banned except for Hassan.
Oh, you found his account?
Today, I will show you.
Wait, this is the guy? Fuck are you gonna do, bro? You skinny bitch?
It shows that Hassan and his orbiters they can't understand what is going on. They are in very, very deep issues, and now we know that Ethan tries to find the people that write on Reddit and Discord. And as Legal Mindset said, Discord and Reddit will give this information very easily. And why is that? Because they don't want anything to do with these lawsuits.
Ethan Klein is set to expose the Reddit and Discord moderators that were stacked against him as he gears up in his lawsuits against Casey Tron, Frogan, and denims. And this is absolutely one of the moments that is legally inevitable. And it's one of the moments that I think people didn't fully understand, but they're coming to grips now with how absolutely cooked they are going to be in court when they're seeing the consequences of their actions. Of course, I'm Andrew Esquire, American attorney.
They don't want to protect the users because this is not their job. What they want to protect is how the platform works. Something that is totally different from Twitch. And I remember a few years back there was a similar situation with a streamer called Alinity, and Twitch didn't even ban her on many occasions of what she done over the years. In this process, Hassan didn't know that the person he was talking about and some of his viewers sent him a link, it wasn't the same person. And he answered that this is not me on X. According to the platform of Twitch, you can't dox anyone, even if they have a public profile. Something like that is weird to me, to say the least, because they have a public profile on other platforms and you can access them and see who they are. But this is how Twitch works. And apparently they didn't even ban Hassan for his action. And now we arrive in Anissa and Ian, or else iDubbbz.
Okay, so here's the fucking deal.
We're poor. Sorry.
After the content cap and content sheriff and content deputy and everything and every video iDubbbz made, we came to a result that iDubbbz and Anissa don't have the money and they will sell their home because Ian made the video about Ethan, but he was in a totally wrong side of history. The likes and dislikes of this video were pretty similar, but in my opinion, Ethan was in the right. You can't expect your friends to fight your battles, but you can. If I was iDubbbz, I would contact Ethan with that and I would say, you know what, I don't really want to do anything with this drama, I'm not in this situation or whatever. You can resort to these issues with a different approach, or even go to his podcast. That would be more interesting.
On this camping trip is where Ian tells me, hey, I'm doing another content cop. And I was like, oh, that's cool. And he goes, yeah, it's on Ethan. And I was like, Ethan Klein? And he said, yeah, it's on Ethan Klein. And I thought, oh no, why would you do that? The reason I was so concerned by this, Ethan and I had a very big misunderstanding for Critical Clash 2 with our promotion for the fight. I'm not going to tell this story again. I've told it in the past, but like everything's fine with Ethan and I. It's all done. We've talked and we've messaged and we're all good. So when Ethan and I made up, I was so relieved. This like huge weight came off my shoulders. I was like, okay, I'm not at odds with somebody. Then Ian tells me, before Critical Clash 3 is about to happen, oh, I'm putting out a hit piece on Ethan Klein. And I'm thinking, oh my God, dude, why are you doing this? Why are you trying to cause trouble? Because now I'm thinking, this is gonna ruin Critical Clash 3 and I'm gonna get screwed again. Yes, I can tell him I'm concerned. I truly thought it was a work. It was like a WWE promo thing where like they were gonna have a fake feud. They were gonna make up right before Critical Clash 3, genius promotion. I watch a lot of wrestling though, so I probably was thinking incorrectly because that wasn't the case.
The idea that they support that Ethan will win those cases. And why is that? Because the haters of Ethan made it very public how much they despise of him and his wife and his children with the CPS calls, and this is something we will see in the court. They will call anyone who said something unhinged, defaming, but they will be the major players, the people that they do the same thing all over, time and time and time again. But in my opinion, we live in a time that will change everything. And why is that? If Ethan wins his case, and if he is supported by the majority of people out there, and if the platforms hear what he has to say, then we will see a different platforms and how they will change after these lawsuits. And I expect at some point that someone will try to fight to its regulations and how they work. But maybe it's Tecton, maybe Ethan will sue, I don't know. But the way it supports certain content creators, it's beyond me. I don't know what will happen, but I expect major changes on the big platforms after those lawsuits.
Be better.